Hey guys, thanks for coming to my page. February is Heart Health Month, and in this segment, I'm interviewing Jes Landau about her heart. This segment was so intense, I had to compose myself. Not only because of what she shared, but because I had a friend of mine who's no longer with us that suffered with heart complications. So on my page, I'm going to be talking about many things, but the focus is going to be on health. So like, share, and follow. Thank you. Enjoy. So, people celebrate February as Heart Day, right? But what people are not really recognizing is that February is actually Healthy Heart Month. And I wanted to have this segment so that we can discuss ways that you can kind of recognize if there are things going on that's a little abnormal with your heart, or ways that you can keep your heart and maintain your heart in a healthy way. I brought Jes on, and I want her to talk about, she has a pacemaker, and I want her to talk about, having a pacemaker and, things that revolve around having a pacemaker. And so, Jes, I would like you to start. And I just want to say also that part of having a pacemaker is recognizing that your heart is not functioning as normally as it would. It's just not as strong as it normally would be at functioning. So Jes is going to explain a lot of that and also let you know how to look for signs that indicate that your heart is not functioning as strongly as it should.
Yeah, no problem. So, well, one, thank you for having me. Um, all right. I mean, should I just start with like the background of how my heart condition?
Please.
Okay.
Yes.
So I actually was not born with my heart condition.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people assume that. I have had a pacemaker since I was 10 years old, and I've had seven pacemaker surgeries, but I was
Right.
not born with this. So when I was two, I actually had the chicken pox and the flu at the same time.
Interesting.
And I was a little girl, so like I knew where like my eyes and my ears were, but I didn't understand necessarily my insides. So I would complain a lot about my belly hurting. And it was
Mm.
actually my heart. So my mom, finally my mom was like, okay, like she's constantly complaining. She takes me to the doctor, and everything comes back abnormal. All right. So that's how my whole journey started. So my earliest childhood memories are actually, I remember being like in a diaper with like the little electrodes on a treadmill walking. So
Oh,
they were like
wow.
monitoring my heart. That's
Yep.
like some of my
Yes.
earliest
Yes. Yes.
childhood memories.
Right.
So it was then when they learned that, my heart, the electrical system of my heart was having issues.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did not get the pacemaker right away. So at the time I lived in New York, they thought potentially that it would fix itself. It did not, obviously. And when I was 9 years old, we actually moved to Colorado.
Okay.
And it was in Colorado that with the altitude, my heart was stopping at night. So that's when I got my actual first pacemaker. So um, I mean, fanny packs are coming back, which is so funny to say, but
Right.
how they found it was I would wear a fanny pack
Right.
with old tape recorder, and
Okay.
then all these little things stuck to me, and I would record everything for the day. And
Wow.
so at night it was stopping, and that's when my parents were like, this isn't getting better. Like, we have to do something about it. So I got my first pacemaker when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
I had my second pacemaker when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And so this might actually be part of like recognizing that something's not right. So
Right.
it's a little hard for me to speak as an adult to maybe give advice on being aware of something that's wrong with your heart, because I don't know what it's like to not have a pacemaker. I've been 100% dependent on this since I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, they thought I had a heartbeat of 34. Then they said I had a heartbeat of 17 a minute. We're not sure if I have my own natural heartbeat at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The doctors don't even test it. So when I was 16, though, I played soccer my whole life. And I remember being on the field and my coach just yelling and not like trying to be mean, but was like, move, like
Right.
just
Right.
run, lady, run. And
Right.
I physically couldn't do it. And my father was like, oh, he was actually the one who's like, I wonder if there's something wrong with the setting on her pacemaker. Turned out my pacemaker was in backup mode.
Wow.
It only had like 2 weeks left on it. A pacemaker is supposed to last like 10 years.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'd only had it for 6 years. So I had
Okay.
emergency surgery and got my next pacemaker.
Oh, okay.
So then when I was 17, I was just like roughhousing with my boyfriend at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it fell into my armpit. So I remember like being like, I feel like what pacemakers here, like literally, and I remember going upstairs to my mom and I was like, I think this is my pacemaker.
Wow.
And she felt it and was like literally poking out of my armpit. So, and the lead wires are only so long. So I ended
Hmm.
up having emergency surgery again
Right.
because they had to make sure it didn't disconnect.
Yeah.
And then when I was 18, I actually had a recall on my pacemaker. So I had to get it replaced.
Okay.
That surgery I did have, they did puncture my lung by accident. So I was on oxygen and I was actually getting ready to go play college ball. So I did not tell my college coach that I had just had heart surgery. And I just sorry, coach, if you ever see this. I lied on all of the forms for preseason, like getting prepped. Like you had to fill in all this paperwork, like how
Right.
much you ran, how many miles did you do today? Did you
Right.
do the workout? I end up in Savannah, Georgia, after being in the altitude. Let me tell you, that was like the hardest preseason of my life, all the humidity. So anyways, that was surgery 3.
Right.
Playing college ball from all those surgeries, my chest muscle was actually not attached to my body, it detached. So I had another emergency surgery at 19. So my pacemaker was actually like floating around underneath the muscle because at the time they put it underneath to try to protect it so I could just play sports. And now it sits above the muscle.
Okay.
So that was when I was 19. And then when I was 28, I had a battery recharge. So
Okay.
that's where I could feel it. My body was slowing down. There's like an app for pacemakers, and I was
Okay.
monitoring it. And then the most recent one happened when I was 39. I don't
Oh,
know, it's starting to blend in, but
right.
it was a few years ago. That
Right.
one was crazy though. So what's interesting about a pacemaker is you have a pacemaker that is gonna work for supposed to work for 10 years. And then you also have your lead wires, and the lead wires are what's inside of my heart connecting to the pacemaker. I
Mm-hmm.
believe the newer pacemakers don't even have this. Don't quote me, but I don't have a newer pacemaker yet, so I'm not positive. Um, but you can't get a new pacemaker until think of it like if you're in your car,
Right.
the gas light goes on, you have to wait for the gas light to go on
Mm-hmm.
to get your next pacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise it's considered elective,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
bananas because I'm
Hmm.
100% dependent on this thing,
Yeah.
okay? So
Yeah.
I kept trying to convince everybody like just let me have it, like I don't want to wait.
Right.
I physically felt my pacemaker go into backup mode on the last one, which was bananas. So my husband and I were driving. I felt literally all the blood in my heart slow down. And I was like, it just went into backup. Sure enough, a week later, I was having surgery.
Wow.
So that's kind of like my journey of them. So I don't feel like I'm qualified to tell you if like 1,000% if your heart is off, but I know if you have a pacemaker, you will feel it. You
Yeah.
can feel the difference. You can
Yeah.
feel, like I remember when I first got my pacemaker, I'll never forget it. I was 10 years, as I said, I was 10 years old. I was in the hospital bed and they turned the pacemaker off as a, just like testing to make sure everything was working.
Mm-hmm.
And I could feel my heart beating and I was in so much pain. My body had already gotten comfortable having the pacemaker beat for it.
Yes.
So like you can feel like if you have a
Mm-hmm.
pacemaker, you can feel it. But if I had a strong regular heart, I'm
Yeah.
not sure I would necessarily know.
Yes.
People are always like, what's it like? And I'm like, honestly, I
Yes.
don't know anything different.
Right.
I'm
Right.
like blessed, but I don't know anything different.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a journey. That is a journey. Now, excuse me for asking, but
You
like
can ask me
having a
anything.
pacemaker, which I want people to understand, and this is why I really want people to tap into heart health. And there's so many things other than having a pacemaker. Um, there's other things that you can deal with when it comes to having an abnormal heart. But you should focus on keeping your heart healthy because, as you just experienced, having all those surgeries, having a pacemaker, isn't that kind of expensive, especially if you don't have insurance?
I mean, I can't imagine.
Yeah. If you
I
don't have
mean,
insurance, that can be like extremely expensive. So, I mean,
yeah, I don't know, but I don't want to know either.
yeah, yeah, and getting a pacemaker and having that put in so many times. Now, what are some of the other ways that it has maybe affected you, like swimming, or maybe, I mean, some people say going through a metal detector. Um, uh,
Can't go through one. You cannot go through a metal detector. So at the airport, You can't go through the metal detector. You can go through the one that's the spinning. I don't know what they call it. There's like, do you know what I'm talking about? Where it like just spins
It's
one
kind of like a
rotation.
turnstile type. Oh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, so you can
where
go
you
through,
raise your arms and yeah, yeah, okay.
but now there's also another one where you just stand there still and
Uh-huh.
you face the wall.
Okay.
Can't go through that one either. And
Wow.
originally they thought you could, and I went through one, and then I found out you can't.
So
So
it
I
sets it off when you go through it?
nothing happened to me, thank God. But now
Okay.
there's all these things that say like you can't go through it. I
Right.
will if they don't have the spinny one, then I always have to get a pat down. But I have to do it everywhere. Like if
I
I
was
go
going to ask you that.
to a concert,
Right. Right.
like
I was
all
going
these
to ask you
places
that.
have metal detectors. We just were on a cruise last
Okay.
week and metal detector, I had to have them do the pat down for me. So
Wow.
that is one thing to kind of keep in mind.
Okay.
Um, if you have a pacemaker, I mean, you can't go bungee jumping. At least I've always been told I can't because the force can pull it out.
Yes.
I spent my whole life being told I couldn't go on roller coasters, but now I can.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. So now I go on roller coasters, but like I spent
Okay.
my whole life being told I wasn't allowed to. So I
Okay.
didn't because I was like, I want to be alive. So
Right.
everyone else enjoy a roller coaster. Um,
Swimming?
Swimming, I'm totally fine. I mean, I
Okay.
played college soccer. I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
totally allowed to.
Yes.
I've had two
And for
babies.
years. And for years.
Yep. I ended up taking a red shirt and then I actually quit after my sophomore year because I just was like, after having a surgery at 16, 17, 18, and 19, I just
Right.
physically was done.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I'm really blessed. I had parents who went out of their way to make sure that I always felt like I had a normal childhood. So I played sports, I traveled, I have two beautiful daughters. Like I've done all the things.
Yes.
I'm very, very, very blessed.
Yes.
Um, I have a career like you can have a completely normal life, but you do want to take care of yourself. You do want to like stay healthy. The biggest thing that kind of comes to mind when it comes to my pacemaker and the thing that kind of sits in the back of my mind a lot. Obviously, there's concerns of like a metal detector and that type of thing,
Hmm.
but keeping my actual muscle healthy
Okay.
is really important.
Okay.
So, a lot of people who have pacemakers, their heart can get lazy
Okay.
because the pacemaker is just doing it for you.
Hmm.
So, especially if I've now had it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So, like, my heart could easily just be like in complete autopilot.
Right.
So, it's really important that, like, even just like going for a walk, doing my strength training, like, I'm very conscious of that, is that I
Okay.
want to make sure I keep my actual muscle healthy.
Hmm.
Um,
Now, are you on any medication or do you use any homeopathic remedies to help you with your heart condition, to help with the muscle, to help with just everyday life?
yeah.
What are the things that you do?
So, I'm
Do you
not
have to
on
take
any
any?
medication.
Okay.
I'm blessed. I know that there's a lot of other people who have different heart conditions that have medicine. So I don't have any medicine.
Oh,
I do take a mushroom drink every day, which I've told you
okay.
about.
Okay. Tell us about this mushroom drink because I
Yeah,
did
so I
see
have it here.
online. Yeah, let's see.
So it's,
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people think when they hear Rise, they think of the other brand. Ours is called
It's
Frequence.
okay.
It has a little, I need a manicure, sorry. It
Okay.
has a little metal disc on it. So
Okay.
what we do is we actually add frequency onto all of our products. It holds 11 harmonic frequencies. And what I was really attracted to about this is that every part of your body actually holds different frequencies. So your kidney, your liver. I know that there's one, thank
Right.
you. Like, oh my God, I'm like all my hearts.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So everything has its own frequency. And so we actually embed frequency into the product so that
Hmm.
your body can take the supplements better. So this has been a huge thing for me. Because of my heart condition, I'm already an anxious person, but I think I'm a much more anxious person, especially at that last heart surgery,
Right.
having two daughters at that point, not knowing when I was going to be able to get this replacement. My anxiety kicked in even more than
Hmm.
usual. And
Hmm.
so having a product that also just keeps me calm and keeps me level, I think is just important for just health in general. Like I think I think it all ties together. If you don't have good mental health, it's really hard to have good physical health.
Okay. So frequency is what you're using, and you use this every day. Is it what? How much of it do you have to take?
So I mean, it's super easy. It's like a little scoop. It's 7 organic mushrooms. I'll show you.
Yes.
Methylated B vitamins.
Okay.
Pour it in some water. It actually tastes like an Arnold Palmer. I don't know
Oh,
if you know,
oh,
like the
okay.
lemonade and iced tea mix.
Okay.
Um, and then like literally, but what's cruel is like it really works with your brain too. It like removes brain fog. It keeps me calm. It keeps me focused. I know that I'm putting good things in my
Your
body.
body. Yeah.
I'm just like, super, super grateful. And I have my whole family using it. Even my 5-year-old is like, give me the mushrooms. I'm like, you
Oh,
got it, girl.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. That is
Yeah.
really, really good to know. So with a pacemaker now, how does having a pacemaker as well, like how often do you have to have medical checkups?
Yeah. So I have an app.
Oh,
So it literally, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to take the machine, like I had an in-home machine and I'd have to put the old school phone on it and put a magnet over it. It was a whole thing.
wow.
Now, there's just an app. I open the app, it connects to my pacemaker and it sends in a reading.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing. So,
Wow.
and in my app, it also shows me the life expectancy of
Mm-hmm.
how much is left on my pacemaker. So, like
Okay.
with that last surgery, I was watching it. It was like 6 months left, 2 years left, whatever it was. So I
Wow.
have 8 years left on this one. So stay that
Wow.
way.
Now, would they have they ever told you like you might need like a heart transplant or anything like that? Does that even factor in when you have a pacemaker, or that's not even like part of it?
I've never been told that.
Okay, well then
So
that's good. That's
I'm I'm good for not having
that's
that.
blessed. Blessed.
I've had enough surgeries.
Right.
We'll have
Yes.
many more still to go in my life if, because unless the technology gets to the point where it's longer than a 10-year battery.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially just it's a battery that's
Right.
pumping the heart.
Right.
So if it gets to the point where the technology allows for longer, that would be amazing. But right now, I'm just
You're
assuming
good.
until I'm 100.
Yeah, you're
And
good.
I'm going to 100. That's the
You're
plan.
good. You're good. And of
Um,
course, technology is getting better and better, as you just explained with that app. Like that's amazing to have because it eliminates the continuous doctor's appointment. I'm quite sure from 10 years old up until now, you must have seen tons
so
of
many.
doctors, tons of specialists, tons of people, and that can be, very overwhelming. So, it eliminates that. And, I do believe that technology will help in that area as far as just extending the time that you need to have the pacemaker or that you can have the pacemaker. You
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, I think even the newer pacemakers, again, this doesn't happen for me, but the newer ones, they might beep as they are
Oh,
getting closer
okay.
to ending.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but um, I feel like I have a friend who has a pacemaker. I feel like she just came back from her doctor's appointment. And they're like, it'll start beeping. I was
Yeah,
like,
it'll let you know.
that is crazy.
Yeah, it'll let you know.
I've never had one of those. I mean, maybe the one I have now is, but we have 8 years, so I don't have to worry about it for a bit.
Okay, okay. I had a friend that the reason why I did ask you about swimming because I had a friend that had a pacemaker, and she said when she went to swim, it kind of set it off, and her
Wow.
body kind of started like kind of like pretty much like convulsing and like so yeah, so she was very scared when that happened,
I don't
and
blame her.
she was actually on an island, so she had to be kind of like taken to the hospital, and so that's why I asked you about that because I know that there's different things that everything affects everybody's body differently,
Mhm.
and like you said, maybe muscle strength or maybe just the activity itself, or maybe it was time for her, to change the
To get
pacemaker,
a new one.
and all of that went on, so that's why I asked you about that. So are there any specific things in your life that kind of make you feel a little bit overwhelmed when having the pacemaker, like maybe anything that like kind of triggers you, or you did say anxiety, but you said that you're anxious anyway, so this just kind of piles onto it a little bit.
Yeah, I would say the surgeries.
The surgeries. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's always in the back of your mind, right?
Yeah.
That you have this thing that is keeping you alive.
Yeah.
And when you really think about that, that's bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like, how blessed and how lucky am I? So I'm super thankful for it. I will say at that last surgery, I remember I didn't want to go to bed at night, and that was really hard. Because I was so scared if it stopped, it would be when I was sleeping, and then my husband would wake up and I wouldn't be there. So
Oh,
that right before the last surgery, that was really hard. Like I was like freaking out a lot, and and even I remember getting on the, well, I guess you call it the surgery table,
mm-hmm,
and they hadn't quite put me out yet.
mm-hmm,
And the guy who was from Medtronic, who was in there during the surgery, he was like, "Any chance you felt really bad yesterday?"
mm,
And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I couldn't even pick up like toys off the floor." And he goes, "Yeah, your battery's like done." And I was like, "I'm so glad I'm in here."
yes,
So like
yes,
that. But that I would say that that's probably the biggest thing is like it will always be in the back of my mind.
mm-hmm,
For many years, especially as I was a kid, I didn't like talking about it because
yeah,
I felt different.
right.
Nobody else was having heart surgeries. Nobody else had rules about what they could and couldn't do. And, you know, um, but I think as I've gotten older, I've definitely become more vocal about it because I think it's important to share.
It is.
There's actually an organization that I should put you in touch with. It's
Tell us
called,
about it. Yes.
it's called Four Hearts Worldwide.
Okay.
I was on their board for a little bit. Um, but they're an organization that brings pacemakers to people around the world who don't have access to one.
Wow.
Because 1 to 3 million people die every single year
Okay.
because they don't have access, and they have saved 17,000 lives so far.
Wow. Repeat that again. Four hearts.
Four Hearts Worldwide,
Okay.
and they have saved like 17,000 lives so far.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is like it's only about $500 to save a life. They have all these doctors who volunteer. They have pacemakers that are donated. And I mean, maybe it's changed since then, since I last spoke to them. The executive director is amazing. Her name is Laura,
Mm-hmm.
but like that $500 could save a life. Bananas.
Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. It seems like it's been such a tough journey for you. However, you look amazing. Not that you're supposed to look any type of way, but you're just like gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
And you look
Follow me
great.
around and tell me the nice things I love you.
Yes. You look great. I want to thank you so much for coming on. I want to thank you for sharing your story. And before we go, where can we find Rise?
So on my site,
Okay.
so it's frequence.com. So FREQUENSE. So frequence.com/Jess with the one S.
Okay, that's great. And remember, it's for everything. It's not just if
Oh,
you have a
yeah.
heart condition. Her 5-year-old takes it. So,
I mean,
yeah,
it's so good.
right, right. Thank
So
you.
good.
Thank you so much. And as we close out, tell me something that you would say to someone to encourage them to, get checkups and make sure that they stay on top of their heart.
Um, I would say life is not a dress rehearsal.
Love it.
It's not a dress rehearsal. You only have one shot to do this. Don't like, why wouldn't you go make sure that every single part of you can be like as healthy and good as possible?
That's right. That's right. And I would say you better live. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you. Thank you.